Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Today y Mañana. I'm Alex. This is Nick. We're very excited to have you joining us this morning. It's not too cold.
No, it's actually kind of nice.
It's not too cold, but it's still a good morning to get your café con leche, get into your cozy place, and watch some Today y Mañana.
Well, this is that type of weather that if we were in September going into winter, everyone would be putting on their coats and huddling in. And now that we're leaving winter to go here, everyone's like, hey, it's nice out.
I'm taking my jacket off to get some
flip-flops and hoodies.
Moderately warm weather. So, but I think it's going to be a great show that we have lined up for people today. Be sure to like and share. Send us any questions, comments. Let us know how much you love our guests, which we know that you do. We've already had some great comments.
Oh yeah, there's a
even
lot
prior to the show. There's some
big
love. Fans that are a lot of love out there.
Yes, there's a lot of love for Omar, Miguel, and Carolina.
Absolutely. So we're gonna cover all that. We're gonna be joined very shortly by Omar Loran. He is from Taino Fire Protection, as well as later in the show by Miguel Coradine Karolina Medina from Craddock Sirius Insurance. We're going to be doing some bilingual today. We'll have some questions in English. We'll have some questions in Spanish. We'll be teaching you. We're going to be learning a lot, I suspect.
Yes.
About just how to protect yourself. As you said, the theme today
is protection.
So we are looking forward to that tremendously. And of course, always love being here on the I Love CVille Network set. We love being presented by our good friends, Emergent Financial Services, and partnering with Craddock Sirius Insurance, with Castle Hill Cider, and of course with Forward Adelante, the premier Latino networking group here in Charlottesville, Virginia. So I don't know about you, Nick, but I am excited to jump right in here.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, absolutely. Let's do it.
Let's get started.
Vamos. And so we're excited to welcome to the show this morning Omar Loran. He is one of the owners of Taino Fire Protection. Omar, thanks for joining us this morning.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you.
Doing well.
Thank you for having me here.
No, we're glad to have you on. Glad to have you here. So for those who don't know you, who haven't met you yet, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started Taino Fire Protection.
So I started in fire protection back in 1999, working as a tech. Did that for a bunch of years. Started in New York and New Jersey till about 2007. Worked for different companies out there. 2007, moved here to Virginia, down to the Petersburg area, and worked with a bigger company out there for 15 years in the same company since I came to Virginia. Wow. And it was just about that time for me to, make a change and try to work things, to get my own, make my own company, and
Absolutely.
do this. And I'm trying to like help the Spanish community. You don't have a lot of people that speak Spanish doing this. So that's where, I'm trying to help people out.
Bridge that gap a little bit.
Correct. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We've already got a comment in. My man, proud of you guys, from Eric Estrada. So,
Thank you.
Getting some love very early on.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching the show, Eric. Thanks, Jair CG, for watching the show this morning. So already got some people tuning in. So what are some of because I know a lot of people think fire protection, and you're like, okay, is that the fire engine coming? What are some of the services that you provide at Taino?
So we're actually a private. A lot of people, when they think of fire protection, they think we're part of the fire department and stuff like that, which we're not. It's pretty much a privately owned, private-owned company, and pretty much what we do is we service, we sell extinguishers, kitchen fire suppression systems. We install them, we service them, we inspect them because you're supposed to inspect them every 6 months. Exit emergency lights, and we also do food trucks. It's because a lot of these, you got a big business of food trucks popping up, and you're actually supposed to have a fire system in that food truck also. So we install those also.
That's fantastic. Yes, that's a key thing really for other small business owners as well, because you have a lot of, there's some regulations and things you have to follow, and Correct. You guys are kind of familiar with those. Can you go into a place and kind of be like, all right, here's like those things you need that we can
Correct, yeah. So obviously to install systems in, physical restaurants and paint booths and stuff like that, you actually have to, file for permits. You got to have codes because, each thing is supposed to be protected in a certain way. Right. And we actually able to help, people. We're actually able to help people out with that itself. So we would take out the permits. We would, order all the parts, do the work, get in contact with any other trade that we need, to do this work. And so
that's a lot.
No, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I mean, one of the things I was thinking, which I know, Nick and I were chatting beforehand, that what are some of the big things that you've seen in your experience that like things people should be thinking about when it comes to fire protection, but we kind of forget or we don't even think about.
So a lot of people think that you could just get a fire system, buy it on eBay or Craigslist, and you could just take that fire system and put it in your restaurant and your food truck. And same thing with fire extinguishers. But all these things have dates. They have certain sizes, and if you could just go and buy something from eBay or Craigslist, when I come to you to try to put that system in, if it doesn't have enough capacity to cover that, you just wasted that money on the side and have to pay, somebody else to get the correct stuff. So, that's the thing that people need to watch out with. I would not suggest ever to go, to any, website like that just to go buy a system or fire extinguisher. Same thing with fire extinguishers in your house, I mean, those fire extinguishers, they have a date, If you have a fire extinguisher from 1998, I mean,
it's not going to work.
That thing, it may not.
Right.
So for commercial properties, that extinguisher has to be changed every 6 years. I mean, every 6 years. Yeah. Every 6 years, you have to do internal tests on that fire extinguisher, loosen up all that powder. So imagine having a fire extinguisher from 1998, in your house. You have a fire in your stove, try to use it. That's it. You might as well just take that fire extinguisher, throw it in the fire. So, I would suggest that, I mean, it's a big thing that people waste money that way. So my suggestion would be that if anybody ever, had any questions on fire systems, fire extinguishers, call a reputable company that can help you out with that.
So there's a maintenance component also to what you do. It's not just setting up your food truck for the first time.
Correct. Yeah, you have maintenances. So every 6 months, you're actually supposed to do an inspection on that fire system.
Gotcha.
So you have some fusible links inside there that melt at a certain temperature, and that fusible link could take, brand new, could take about 3 seconds to melt and activate your system. Once that grease starts coating that thing, all right, and if you haven't changed that link in 2 years, instead of 3 seconds, for it to melt and activate your system, that thing could take, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, to melt and activate your system. And, seconds with a fire, it's quick. A fire could grow really quick.
Especially in these business that we're talking about, like where you could have exposure to a lot of flammable materials just in terms of grease and everything.
Correct.
Now, I do have a question that's a little bit off topic, but it's from to follow up on Eric Estrada's comment. He says, love how our Puerto Rican heritage is proudly represented in the logo, El Sol Taino. Would you want to just talk a little bit about that? Because I don't know if our audience can see. It's a great logo.
Yeah, so my logo, my youngest daughter drew it.
Oh,
so she's the one that, she's not young, she's 19, so she's an adult now, but she's the one that took care of the drawing. All right, so pretty much the blue part right here is actually the Taino symbol for the sun. Oh. Okay, so Taino, a lot of people ask me about Taino. Tainos are the native Indians from the Caribbean.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, Puerto Rican, Mm-hmm. Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. So I wanted to put a little bit of my heritage into the name. So we did it that way, and we picked the sun. I mean, first thing is, sun, sol in Spanish. Yeah. That's actually my mother's name.
Oh, that's
so,
sweet.
Beautiful name.
So it's it's close to the logo's close to our heart, pretty,
physically and representatively, right?
Yes. Yeah. So we try to, my wife helped me out with this, and we just try to keep our culture into it as much as we can, So,
no, that's
absolutely.
Beautiful.
And as I know, I mean, we can do a little bit in Spanish. I know one of the key things for you was also to be that person that can go into the Latino community and provide this kind of service, because there aren't a lot. And so, para los latinos que son empresarios, ¿cuáles son unos aspectos importantes de la protección del fuego que tienen que mantener en su mente?
Yeah, so para los latinos, como dije anterior, no deben de ir a comprar un sistema o cosas así por el internet, por eBay, cosas así, porque tienes regulaciones que tienen que mantener. Okay, so mi consejo es que llamen a una compañía de protección de fuego que le pueda ayudar con eso, porque van y compran un sistema en el internet y cuando nos llaman para instalarlo, puede ser que te digamos que ese sistema ya no sirve, está out of date, perdona, está obsolete. No es bastante química para proteger el equipo que tienes, porque todo tiene especificaciones para cada equipo que tenemos que proteger, lo mismo especificaciones para los extinguidores. Cuando tú tienes tu negocio, vamos a decir un restaurante o un food truck, tú tienes que hacer tu inspección de los extinguidores cada año, tienes que hacer tu inspección de los sistemas de fuego cada 6 meses. Hay regulaciones que tienes que cumplir. Traten de llamar a una compañía que los pueda ayudar con eso y así no pierden su dinero.
Sí, claro que sí. Y como un empresario que es latino, ¿cuál ha sido o qué ha sido su experiencia empezar un nuevo negocio pequeño? Para los otros latinos que quizás tienen el sueño de empezar un negocio
pues
pequeño.
Yo he tenido este sueño un buen rato, okay, pero mi miedo era, tú sabes, cómo empezarlo, el seguro, porque tú sabes, en este tipo de negocio es un liability bien grande, tú sabes, porque si hay un fuego, tú pusiste que todo está bien con ese sistema. Sí. Ese era el miedo mío empezando. Pero ahora que empezamos, que la esposa mía y yo empezamos este negocio, pues, mira, es mucho más trabajo de lo que yo hacía. Sí. Okay, pero nos sentimos mejor, porque lo estamos haciendo para nosotros, para la familia. Tú sabes, eso es una experiencia, ¿sabes? Bien, que me ha hecho más humble. No sé cómo decir la palabra en español, pero más
promueve
humilde.
Humilde, sí.
Correcto. Esa es mi experiencia gracias a Dios que todo ha ido bien y siguiendo para adelante básicamente.
Sí. Y muchos empresarios también nos dijeron que es necesario, como un empresario pequeño, que es necesario trabajar muy duro.
Correcto.
Porque tienen que hacer los empresarios no solo las cosas que pertenecen al negocio, pero también todas las otras cosas, entonces los impuestos,
correcto,
y el payroll y todo eso, pero quizás ¿por qué tienen que trabajar muy duro? Es para nosotros.
Correcto,
nuestro negocio, no es el negocio de cualquier otra persona, es nuestro negocio, es nuestro proyecto y nuestro amor en realidad.
Es nuestro amor y le ponemos el corazón al trabajo. Yo quiero que la gente sepan que nosotros hacemos lo mejor que pueda. Yo no estoy aquí para más que hacer dinero y todo eso. Para mí a mí me gusta lo que yo hago. Yo trato de ayudar a la gente lo más que pueda. Si te puedo ayudar, yo te ayudo.
Sí. No, eso es bueno. Tenemos muchos comentarios. Tenemos que reconocer algunas personas en los comments de la page Taino. Andrés Figueroa says, watching in class. Melvin Matias says, Taino representing. Claro que sí. Sol Alvarez dice, I love you, Kylie.
That's my mother.
Y Kylie, she says it, but Kylie Loran said, yay, Dad, I'm so proud of you, you're doing great. And Sol Alvarez says, I love you, Kylie.
Wonderful.
We got some more people just liking the show. Aisha Romero liking the show this morning. John Blair, Melvin Matias liking the show this morning. So you got some fans. Taino Fire Protection has some
fans.
I'm
glad.
Watching the show this morning. So, maybe we could talk about a little bit in English too. What was it kind of like for those other people that want to be entrepreneurs, what was it kind of like taking the plunge? Or what would you say, to change the question up a little bit, what's been some of the most exciting parts that you've enjoyed about starting your own business, of being a small business owner?
So the most exciting part, I would say, would be learning more about the business aspects of it. So before, I was just worried about, okay, we got to make sure this system's the correct way, But now I have to worry about, my employees, the same thing, like, doing your taxes, getting payroll done. So that's a little bit more interesting because, we're going into that part of learning business. And, it's a little tough. Sometimes it's a headache.
Yeah.
But it gets, it gets interesting. And then also the people that you meet. So you're dealing with different vendors, which some of them are great people, different customers, the phone ringing, that's an exciting thing. The phone, when we first started, we might have gotten one or, 2 calls a week. But now, as the business keeps on growing, that phone keeps on ringing more and more and more. And that, it makes it exciting. It's great.
It does. And it's true because you can see, it's a lot of work, that kind of back end, the receipts and all this stuff. I do this. But you kind of see, it's how you see the business growing because, you're doing the books and you're like, oh, wait, I got to pay more taxes. That means I made more money. So that's just
And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be able to do none of this without my wife. She's been a great help, with the business and stuff. So, it's great. It's fun.
She's in studio today, so we got to do a round of applause there.
Yeah.
No, it's true. And a lot of people talk about, when they come on the show, talk to us about just how important it is to have
the family support around.
Correct. And it's pretty much a family business because, it's my wife and myself. I have my daughter as my secretary, my oldest daughter. She's the secretary. She takes care of all the office stuff. Mm-hmm. And then my brother-in-law helps me out on the road with doing inspections, installations and stuff like that. So it's actually a family-owned business.
Which is awesome. Which is beautiful to see. That's what you love.
So it's, family-owned, family helping out, So.
Absolutely. Tycee Dickens.
That's my daughter. She's the
That's
secretary.
your daughter? She says super duper proud of you. So that's the secretary. Tycee, well done. Well done. Yeah. So she's very proud of you. Both your daughters.
Yeah, both
are proud of you.
I'm glad.
Which is good. I'm glad to see they're both watching.
Yep. And Andres Figueroa, that's my son.
Oh, there you go. The family's watching.
That's my oldest boy. Yeah.
The whole family watching this morning. So thanks everyone for tuning in.
Mm-hmm. So another question for you, just since we're still early enough, 2023, we're looking forward at Taino Protection. Is there something especially that you're looking forward to out of this year?
The main thing that I'm looking at this year is that I'm trying to grow and add more services to the company.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so hopefully we can add more services that we can, employ more people.
That would be fantastic.
That would be great,
I don't want to grow quick because obviously, a lot of people know me because of my service.
Right.
And, if you grow quick, your service drops down. So we're taking it slow.
Yep.
But hopefully adding more services in, and so like that we can hire more people.
Gotcha.
Yeah, while maintaining the great quality that people know.
Correct.
And with how many years of experience we talked on,
24
years.
That's
a lot of experience.
1999, 24 years.
24 years, so that's a lot of experience.
That's value. There. We were just interesting. I was having a conversation this morning with some entrepreneurs down at Station Z at the Dairy Market, and one of the things we were talking about was adding value, and there's 24 years of value right there. Mm-hmm. That's not something you can just buy overnight.
Yeah.
No. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Certainly not on Craigslist.
No, yeah. Craigslist, yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah, okay, I'm looking for 24 years. Does anyone have it? Yeah.
Marisol Cruz, watching this morning, says, "Do Omar, kudos to you."
Thank you.
So
and we have Johnny
Marisol.
Ernelsto, amigo de programa, said, "I will vouch for Omar 120%. That's high praise from a very important entrepreneur in our community.
John's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Omar, before we let you go, where can people find you? Where can people get in touch with Taino Fire Protection?
So, Taino Fire Protection, you guys can get in touch. Our phone number, office number would be 804-451-9859. They can find us there. They can message us on Facebook at Taino, Taino Fire Protection.
Yep.
En Spanish, si quieren buscar, o sea, si quieren conseguirme, pueden llamar a la oficina que es 804-451-9859. Y nos pueden conseguir también, nos pueden mandar mensaje en Facebook también. Y para cualquier servicio, extinguidores, sistemas de fuego, luces de salida, food trucks.
Sí, especialmente los
food trucks es un negocio bien grande, eso nos pueden conseguir para ayudarlos con eso. Cualquier pregunta también que tengan, si tienen una pregunta de qué necesitan o de dónde puedo empezar y para dónde tengo que coger para hacer ese negocio, si tienen una pregunta me pueden llamar también y yo lo trato de ayudar lo más que pueda.
Perfecto. To make sure you give Omar, I don't want to hear from our audience, I haven't looked at my fire extinguisher in 20 years, so make sure you give Omar a call. No excuses. Now you know to give Omar a call and then make sure you get that done.
It's the protection episode. You can't watch it and not do it.
Yeah. Exactly. Omar,
thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank
you. It was fun. Yeah, it was fun. Thank you very much.
And you know what? We'll have you back later on this year and see how you've grown.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us today.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty, and as we go ahead and do this little
swap-a-roo into that was fun. What I love is again it's one of the things we always talk about with Keith Smith on Real Talk is the family business, the family supporting the business supporting the family. It's there's something just so inspiring and warm, and people love it when they, especially I guess whenever they're watching our show, and that there's the family business, like the family's supporting it, the family's involved with it, whether it's the logo or the secretary. I mean, and as we will see the dynamic duo of a couple that's about to show up on screen. But like I always love hearing that there's a strong family unit that's both behind the business and the reason for the business.
Exactly. No, it's a lot. You should tell not just the experience, but you tell Omar likes what he does.
Yes.
Right? He's passionate about growing the company, and that's just what you love to see, because that's how you know that when you give him a call, right, he's going to provide good services. He knows this in and out, and he likes doing it.
Yeah.
And he's doing it for him. He's doing it to grow his own company. So,
right. Yeah.
So that's fantastic.
Are you ready for round two?
Let's do it. Let's do it from one family of awesome entrepreneurs to another family of awesome entrepreneurs. I like the dynamic duo thing. We've got the dynamic duo of Miguel Coradine and Karolina Medina from Craddock, Sirius Insurance. Miguel, Karolina, thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
Good to have you back. Good to have you back on the show. So, we know you obviously well, and we trust you, with our own insurance. But for those who aren't familiar, this is their first time watching the show, one by one, tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you came to work together.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us in this amazing show. Again, one more time, it's our pleasure to be here. And I also want to say that I'm very happy for Omar. Never knew, anyone who speaks Spanish, with a fire protection company. So congratulations, Omar. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna let Carolina answer that question.
Siempre me dejan la parte difícil, ¿no? Siempre. Gracias por permitirme estar acá también, por permitirnos estar acá. Es un placer estar aquí porque ustedes son amigos, no solamente parte del show, pero amigos también, y es un placer siempre conversar con ustedes y la oportunidad de compartir lo que hacemos Miguel y yo, como empresa y un poquito también como familia. Pues muchos ya saben, yo soy la esposa de Miguel y comencé a trabajar para esta linda compañía en el 2021, después de COVID, todo lo que pasó, me quedé en casa un tiempo, pero después Miguel comenzó yendo un poquito más atrás en el 2019 solo en la casa, comenzó Sirius como la estrella, ¿no? Y de ahí comenzamos, él empezó solo en la compañía y después comencé yo con él y pues hacemos de todo un poquito, todo tipo de seguro, menos de salud, pero ha sido un placer de verdad y una bendición ser parte de este equipo.
Sí, no, y también es un equipo muy excelente.
Gracias.
Thank you so much.
Gracias.
Muy excelente.
Thank
Y Javier, so for those who don't know Javier, he is out today. He can now see. Well, hopefully tomorrow.
He's
can now
boarding
see in
another
both
ship
eyes.
and robbing all their booty.
Exactly. He is a pirate once again, so he has a patch over that because he had his other eye surgery today, so he can now see 2020 or 2025, almost 2025, in both eyes.
25 something.
So he will be back hopefully in a couple weeks.
A couple weeks, yes.
A couple weeks, he will be back on the show with us. But he says to you both, saludos a Miguel y Carolina y felicidad a los dos.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias, señor Javier. Un placer, un gusto. Thank you so much.
Gracias.
He is watching the show this morning. So is Bill McChesney. Thanks for watching the show this morning, Bill. So, first question that I have for you both is and we were chatting a little bit about this yesterday, that a lot of times when we think of insurance, there are certain areas of insurance that sometimes we don't think about, like mistakes we make of omission. And what are some of the ones in your experience that some common types of insurance that people forget to think about, or they don't, it doesn't occur to them, oh, you know what, this is either something I need or something that would make a lot of sense to get because it's not very expensive, but it could save me a lot.
Oh, sure. Well, I'm going to focus right now on the commercial side of insurance. This is something a lot of people should be thinking about like now. I'm going to talk about something that is, cyber insurance coverage.
Yep.
I mean, if your company is dealing with a lot of sensitive information, like credit cards, social security numbers, health accounts, I mean, I can go on all day. You have a big liability issue right now. I mean, because let's say a hacker, hacks everything that you have, you're gonna be responsible if you don't have coverage for whatever happens after that. We could be talking about hundreds, if not thousands, of accounts. Absolutely. So as a owner, you should have or should be thinking of having cybersecurity. If you have no idea, well, talk to your agent. Call him, asking questions. What do you need to have in order to be fully protected? This is one of the things a lot of people are not even thinking about. But right now, in 2023, there is a record-breaking for scammers, hackers. I mean, you have no idea. I mean, you're not living the same era like 10, 20 years ago.
Right.
We are living in a new wild west right now.
And they're much more sophisticated than it used to be that you would get, the Nigerian prince email, I'm from Nigeria, I need help, but now, I mean, we do our cybersecurity training, and one of the things we focus on is I'll sort of teach the guys, because that's my role, compliance there. Like, we'll get emails from people pretending to be someone else in the firm.
See.
Like, I'll get an email that says it's from Nicholas Urpí.
Oh, gosh.
Alex, my password thing, can you click here and reset it?
They just don't know that I'm one room away and that I can just ask him.
Yeah. You got to scroll over that email and see that the address is not Nicholas's email address. It's some other address that changed their name. They went on the website, saw that Nicholas Urpí works there, changed their name to Nicholas Urpí, and sent the email. So you got to be aware of those things, but you need the protection that if you do make a mistake,
exactly,
you have insurance for it.
And it's just a constant struggle. I mean, myself, I keep getting messages almost 3 or 4 times every month, nonstop. I mean, with direct links that if you click on that, they're gonna hack into your cell phone, or first thing, you don't know anything, just don't even click, just delete it, block it. Well, that's the first step, to be kind of safe, I speak from experience, I was somebody, though they didn't hack me, but they pretend to be me, and switch the accounts. So I was a victim of fraud. Wow. In which they literally took some money from my account, believe it or not, that was taken care of. Yeah. But this is the things that are happening like almost every day.
Sí, incluso, sorry.
All kinds of fraud. You have no idea. I mean, so you gotta have protection for that.
Absolutely. And so when people do that, when they come to you for cybersecurity insurance. Do you also provide, are there, in addition to like, okay, here's what you need to insurance, is there kind of a list of things, here's some things you should be doing?
Oh, yes.
In addition to getting
That's just one of the portions. I mean, first of all, it doesn't matter what kind of business you either have to have a commercial general liability or a professional liability along with, an umbrella and a workers' compensation policy. You need to have, if you have employees, you need to have one. But at the very least, you should have a commercial general liability or professional liability with an umbrella that protects you at least up to $1 million. Because believe it or not, I mean, general liability may not be enough if something happens,
Well, especially, like you said, if you're dealing with sensitive information.
Yes, and this is very critical. We're at critical moments right now where everything is literally done, online. And so, scammers, hackers, they have grew a lot. And there's just more and more fraud every day, every month. You got to make sure you do what you need to do in order to protect your company, first of all, and protect yourself as well. So it is.
Well, you're highlighting a very important thing, which is a lot of people, the first thing they think of when insurance is like, I got to go get my life insurance. I got to make sure that my family's covered on me. And they oftentimes forget their business. They forget that their business also needs to be protected. And so I think that's really important that you're like, hey, you got to make sure that it's not just for you personally. Like, I'll make sure I have life insurance so that if I die, my wife gets everything, and she could go to vacation or provide for the children. But the business itself is something that needs to be taken care of because it has an impact.
Yeah, and it needs to be taken seriously, and. Omar was saying earlier something about, people always want to take the shortcut,
right?
Buy things for less money, but you know where the shortcut is. It's not going to take you so far, and you get what you pay for. Yeah. So in Spanish we say lo barato sale caro.
Sí.
I mean, I stand by that. It is true. It is. I mean, in some occasions it may not, but most of them, it is true. Especially when you have your company, you cannot mess around. When you have your company, you need to have a good company that is going to stand, behind you. Mm-hmm. If anything needs to happen, you need to have security. You need to go with the best. Just going online and buying, I don't know how much the fire protection costs, but you gotta have common sense. That's not gonna be the best thing.
Yeah,
or just going to the first insurance, and you gotta make sure you got a company that is well established, that has your back. That is, if anything happens, it's gonna cover you.
People you trust.
Yeah, people you trust, and we work with Erie Insurance. It's a company that has almost 100 years. They're gonna stay.
You.
They're gonna protect you no matter what happens. It's a company that you can trust.
Absolutely.
Blindly, and it's like the saying goes, you get what you pay for.
Exactly. And I know one of the other areas that maybe we can talk about a little bit in Spanish here is that we were talking about yesterday is a lot of people don't also think of their house, renting an apartment, being a homeowner. So, entonces, you go anywhere you want. ¿Cuáles son, podemos decirlo un poquito en español, hablando de nuestros latinos, lo barato sale caro, like that one. ¿Cuáles son algunos errores comunes con respecto a su casa o su apartamento te alquilen con respecto a los seguros?
Bueno, hablando un poquito también en la parte de español, pues muchas personas a veces rentan sus apartamentos o sus casas y no le dan mucha importancia a lo que es tener un seguro y proteger sus cosas, porque por pagar un poco más de dinero no protegen lo que tienen que protegerse. Hemos tenido casos, lamentándolo mucho, que se han ido de viaje y apagan todas las cosas, el aire acondicionado o la calefacción, y de repente se congelaron las tuberías, y entonces ahora ¿quién paga por esto, no? Y entonces es donde vienen pues las compañías o los dueños de las casas, de los apartamentos, y ahí empiezan los reclamos y los problemas. Pero por eso es importante que tengan un seguro de tenants insurance o renters insurance, porque en estos casos que son mínimos, que nadie se espera que pase, porque tú no piensas que te va a pasar nada, ¿no? Pero pasa. Y entonces ahí es pues a donde vienen los seguros, donde te van a proteger de cualquier cosa, de cualquier demanda, ¿no?
Sí, y en particular los renters insurance es algo que, correct me if I'm wrong, es algo que no cuesta muchísimo,
No.
pero puede tener un gran impacto si algo pasa
Correcto.
en el apartamento que alquila.
Correcto.
Bueno, Alex, Nick, te lo voy a poner de esta forma. Imagínate, un Renters Insurance cuesta de $125 a $150 por todo el año, por todos los 12 meses. En casos, si dependiendo del área, puede costar $200, dependiendo de dónde estés también, ¿no?
Sí.
Es bien económico, pero imagínate no pagar $150 por todo el año y que tengas un claim de miles de dólares.
Ahí es
¿Me
donde
entiendes?
duele.
Sí, ahí es cuando te vas a recordar, oh my gosh, necesitaba ese Renters Insurance, porque ahora a ti te van a demandar por no tener Renters Insurance. Alguien tiene que pagar la cuenta.
Sí.
Entonces, eso los Renters Insurance es uno de los seguros que la mayoría de la gente lo da por desapercibido, no, a pesar de lo económico que es. La gente no se acuerda hasta que hay un claim.
Sí.
Y ahí, por haberte ahorrado $150, ahora tienes que pagar probablemente, quedas endeudado con miles de dólares, no vale la pena.
Sí.
Claro.
No vale la pena, entonces.
Sí.
Hay que tomar en cuenta esa parte.
Sí, no tiene sentido. Y hay otros errores comunes, quizás no con respecto a la casa, pero en la vida personal. Claro
Sí.
que hay muchísimos, pero
Se cuentan todos.
algunos en particular que es importante considerar.
Más que todo con los carros, más que todo con seguro de auto. He experimentado mucho la mayoría de nuestros clientes, pues para eso estamos los agentes, para enseñarlos y educarlos que lo que hay que hacer a la hora de registrar un carro con el DMV, ya que traes esta parte del tema, son muchos errores que han cometido, porque no es porque quieren, sino porque no se está informado todavía sobre esto, pero muchos de nuestros clientes van a registrar un carro al DMV y por casualidad lo registran, pero colocan el carro en el seguro de alguien más, donde ellos también van a estar, pero no son los principales de la póliza. Y entonces ahí es donde empiezan las confusiones con el DMV empieza a mandar cartas donde está el carro asegurado, y entonces se puede probar que está asegurado, pero las personas se espantan un poco porque el DMV manda cartas que le van a suspender la licencia o el carro o una multa. Entonces es importante que a la hora de que vaya a registrar un carro esté como principal también en el seguro o en la póliza donde van a estar, para que no haya confusión en este caso.
Sí, eso es muy importante.
Sí.
Y un error que parece pequeño, pero puede ser muy significante.
Claro que sí.
Oh, sí, es bien significante. Yo te digo que cuesta $600.
multa.
El DMV te va a mandar una multa de $600 y el DMV no perdona. Si no le puedes comprobar que tuviste seguro en la fecha que ellos te están exigiendo que tuviera seguro, te va a mandar una multa por $600 y después te va a mandar a poner un filing SR22 y tu seguro
Sube.
Sí.
Aparte de los $600 que tienes que pagar, porque si no los pagas, el DMV no te va a dar, te cancela la registración, las placas no puedes manejar, entonces no tienes de otra. Entonces, a veces esto pasa muchas veces por falta de, no sé, de educación o de información,
Sí.
de no educarse bien, o falta de comunicación. A veces es un problema de comunicación, o también es un problema, puede ser de idioma, ¿no? Porque a veces, pues, como en el DMV muy poquita, ¿no? Yo creo que no hay gente que habla español, si acaso uno o dos, pero a veces no le dicen bien las cosas. Hay falta de información de los dos lados, ¿no? Y eso da chance a que pasen estos pequeños errores, ¿no? Pero bueno, para eso estamos nosotros también. Nosotros siempre tratamos de ser lo más proactivos posibles para decirles a nuestros clientes, hacerles preguntas, si hicieron esto, aquello, pues para que no les vayan a pasar esto, ¿no? Por ejemplo, un error muy, muy rápido, muy fácil, cuando tú tienes tu carro, ¿verdad? Y tú tienes 5 carros en la póliza, por ejemplo, y nos llaman, bueno, quiero que me remuevas este carro. Perfecto, se remueve el carro, pero tienes que decirle al DMV, notificarle que ya y entregar las placas. Lo puedes hacer online o lo puedes hacer directamente con el DMV, pero si tú no lo haces y se te olvida hacerlo y le quitas seguro al carro, el DMV no puede adivinar que ya tú no tienes ese carro. Por lo tanto, ellos creen que sigues teniendo el carro, pero ya para ahora sin seguro. Y es ilegal tener un carro pues que está registrado a tu nombre sin seguro. Y cuando ellos se dan cuenta, pues ahí te mandan una carta diciéndote...
Ahí es donde empiezan los problemas.
Ahí empiezan. Entonces, ese es uno de los errores muy fáciles es porque se te olvida o no sabes y no lo haces hasta que te llega la carta del DMV con la multa de $600.
Es una cadena, por eso siempre le decimos a nuestros clientes antes de remover un carro, ya entregaste las placas al DMV o asegúrate que no más de esta semana tienes que entregar las placas para evitar el inconveniente de que le vayan a mandar una multa, ¿no? Porque muchas personas, sí, yo lo entrego, pero a veces sin querer la vida pasa y se les olvida y lo hacen un mes después y entonces ahí es donde empiezan los inconvenientes. Entonces siempre estar seguro de, al remover un vehículo, entregar esas placas al DMV.
Sí, muy pocas agencias cuando remueven un carro ni siquiera preguntan, usted ya entregó. Nosotros tratamos de hacer lo más informativo posible y hacemos la pregunta por lo menos para dejarles saber, ¿no? Ya quedan responsabilidades de los clientes, ¿no? Entregar las placas y todo eso, pero sí, un paso que se tiene que hacer para que no tengas problemas con el DMV.
Sí, y eso es muy importante. Mira, tenemos some fans aquí, Debbie Bausch, watching Ultramana de Dosen Andieli, es la madre de nuestra amiga Claudia Cruz.
Dulce de leche.
De Dulce de Leche.
Oh my gosh.
Laverne Wright, Ogletree, Jennifer Montalvo, Grace Sereno watching this morning. Thank you everyone for joining us this morning. So I want to ask you both or Miguel in particular, on the business side. So we talked a little bit about the commercial liability, the umbrella liability, cybersecurity. Any others that when you start a business, a small business owner should be thinking about, but oftentimes we neglect. We say, okay, I got my general liability, I'm good. What other types of things should people be thinking about when you have a small business?
Well, when you have a small business, there's a lot of things to think about.
Yep.
It can be overwhelming. But, definitely you want to make sure, that you register your company, through the IRS.
Yep.
You have a FAN number or tax ID number. You got everything in place. Make sure you have a CPA, you cannot do everything.
Yep.
It's impossible. You have to have a CPA that takes care of, the numbers, everything that that runs the numbers on your company so that you can work.
Exactly. And I noticed a lot of people, it's more and more common, and you can speak to this, a lot of times when you do business with someone as a company, they're going to ask you for certificate of insurance.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
And that's when you need to call up
The
your
insurance.
and say, hey, I need a certificate showing what kind of general or umbrella liability that I have.
Exactly. So that's why I always tell my clients, especially the ones that are starting a business, like contractors, for example, like first thing I tell them, you register your company, have your bank account from your company, make sure you do that. You don't want to mix the personal and it's just a disaster if you do that. And then, you need to have the proper coverage on your company. At the very least, a general liability and an umbrella. That's what you need to have. And if they require a workers' compensation, you also need to have that, because make no mistake, the contractors that are going to give you a contract work, they're going to ask for it. If you don't have it, they won't even hire you.
Yeah, they're not going to wait around for you to get it.
No, it's just like that. And that's a very common mistake that new entrepreneurs that have their own, business, especially on the contractor field, they wait later. So they don't have the insurance before, but they wait later, only when they are asking for it. But it could be too late, because the contractors specifically say you must have insurance since the day you start work, not when you finish.
Yep.
And that can cause a big problem when it comes to money. And I have had issues in this kind of field because of either miscommunication or any type of misunderstanding. So, when somebody comes to my office, the first question that I have, well, do you register your company? Are you in contract with, company, and you should know that you should have insurance since the very beginning, not just when they ask for it, since the very beginning. It is very important, to have all these in place, not just the policies, but to make sure that your company has a healthy,
that you're keeping your finances in the right way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's structured.
Kind of ties in with what we were talking about, Omar, about starting your own business. It's not just about the service you provide. You also got to make sure you take care of the business you're creating.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And Xavier says, this is why it's so key to work with an agent you can trust and that has extensive knowledge.
Right.
Because you're here educating people not just on, here's the insurance you need, but also here's things you need to be aware of, whether with your business or with respect to your car or your apartment. Here's things to think about that will affect your insurance if you don't do them properly.
Yeah, we at least on the commercial side, I made sure to let my client, whether he's buying or not in my agency, that's fine. At least to give him, the education that he needs, before, he even starts a contract. Because, again, we're having issues where there was miscommunication. Now the main contractor doesn't want to pay originally what he was supposed to pay because he didn't have the insurance he used to have, he was supposed to have at the moment. And to avoid that, I tell them, you gotta clear this out, sit on the table with the contractor before you even start working, and make sure you have any questions. Make sure you sign a contract, and make sure you know what you're dealing with before, so that way there's no surprises, at the end.
Absolutely. Y para nuestros empresarios latinos, porque queríamos hablar un poquito en español con respecto a este tópico. Para nuestros empresarios latinos, ¿cuáles son unos tipos de seguros más importantes o más común de conseguir inmediatamente después de empezar su nuevo negocio?
¿Cuáles son
los tipos de seguros más importantes de conseguir inmediatamente después de empezar?
Bueno, los más importantes para su negocio va a ser lo que se llama una General Liability, Commercial General Liability, que es la que le protege hasta $1 millón en caso de demandas o daños por materiales o en caso de daños a terceras personas. Esto lo tienen que tener, se lo pregunten o no se lo pregunten, you must have this. Eso es si tú estás serio con tu negocio, tú tienes que tenerlo. Si no estás serio, estás jugando con fuego. No puedes estar jugando con es tu negocio. Si algo pasa, ¿a quién van a demandar? Te van a demandar a ti o a tu negocio. Y si no tienes una póliza que te proteja, pues imagínate, después una deuda, si la pierdes, de vida.
Y la estructura de su negocio no es suficiente de protegerlo totalmente. Entonces, si hay un sole proprietor o si hay un LLC, eso no significa que no puede ser claims against you.
Entonces,
todavía necesitan protección.
Eso es correcto. Y de hecho mucha gente empieza así sin hacer una compañía con su nombre, del cual está bien, lo puedes hacer, pero no es lo mejor. Lo mejor es registrar tu compañía, el nombre que tú quieras. ¿Por qué? Porque si te llega una demanda, Alex, y tu compañía está a tu nombre,
lo voy a sacar toda la vida.
Todas mis finanzas personales
pueden ir detrás de todas tus finanzas personales, de todas tus cuentas, tus carros, casas, pero cuando tú tienes una entidad, una compañía establecida, no pueden tocarte te van a demandar a tu compañía, mas no te pueden ir detrás de ti, de tus cosas personales, de tus finanzas personales. Entonces, esto es muy importante. Esto es lo primero, incluso antes del seguro, tienes que registrar tu compañía, asegúrate de hacer todos los pasos que tienes que hacer para registrarte con el condado o la ciudad, registrarte con el IRS, tener todo como debe ser para que no vayas a tener ningún problema en un futuro.
Claro que sí. Javier dice lo mismo, y la educación es muy importante. Javier dice, y Y Miguel y Carolina son buenísimos con educar a sus clientes. Entonces,
Sí. Muchas gracias, Javier. Sí,
Javier.
tratamos, no sé si somos los buenísimos, pero tratamos de hacer lo mejor
que podamos,
posible,
sí.
lo que está dentro de nuestras manos para a educar a nuestros clientes, que es muy importante. Para mí nosotros no se trata de vender ni nada, simplemente se trata de educar a nuestras personas.
Sí, y me gustó mucho, disculpa Miguel, lo que pone Omar aquí en su juego, donde los clientes se convierten en amigos, ¿no? Felicidades,
Sí.
Omar, por ese comentario, porque es verdad, no solamente es que te vendo un seguro, para mí es importante y para nosotros es importante qué estás comprando, qué estás firmando, porque muchas personas vienen y sí, necesito un seguro porque tengo que registrar al DMV, pero sabes lo que estás firmando, sabes lo que estás comprando. Entonces creo que ese es nuestro trabajo también, no solamente venderles, sino educarlos, qué es lo que van a hacer y de qué se están protegiendo, ¿no?
sí. Claro que sí, claro sí, sí. Y como siempre, pues, finalmente,
Oh, no,
¿dónde-
before finalmente, I want to ask the same question I asked Omar. For 2023, what are you both
okay.
looking forward to from Sirius Insurance?
For 2023,
Well, I love how he always gives you the hard question first.
all the time. I knew it.
Like, I'll answer this one.
She's answer all the time, right?
She's my savior.
For the reasons you brought me to Wolverine. I'm kidding. So we always want to, improve our job, doing better for the community, not just our Latino community, and of course everybody who's interested in buying insurance, and not just auto. We do life too, which is very, very important. And a lot of people do not understand how important it is to have a life insurance. More you have kids. So I think our goal is to keep growing as an agency, and of course, I think we're keeping strong as a family too, because it's not easy. As Omar said too, it's not easy to start a new business. It's very difficult, but it's worthy. It's worthy, and we want all the time to support our Hispanic community people, and trying to educate them what we do and do much better as we can for them.
Yeah, I wanna finish saying that I'm proud of Carolina. I'm proud of myself, proud of the whole team, and I'm very, very proud of all the entrepreneurs, especially the Latino ones. It's not easy. As I said before, I call this like an extreme export. It doesn't get any easy. It just gets harder and harder every day. You gotta deal with new battles every day, every month. But it's good. It's worth it. And the whole point, besides insurance and everything, is to be a better person today than you were yesterday.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
it doesn't have to do with business or anything. It's I think that should be a personal goal for everybody. Doesn't matter what they do. To accomplish, a lot of things in life, you have to be a better person than you were yesterday.
Right.
And by doing that, which is not easy, but it's possible, you can accomplish more things that you can even imagine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wonderful answer.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, thank you both so much. Before we let you go, where can people contact you? ¿Cómo se puede ponerse en contacto con ustedes?
Sí, bueno, nos pueden llamar a las oficinas. El número de teléfono es 434-956-4458. Ahí atiendo los teléfonos. También tenemos un contacto de WhatsApp. Decimos abrir esta cuenta porque a veces las personas están trabajando y nos pueden mandar un mensaje por allí al 434-409-4133. Y también pues nos pueden ir directamente en la oficina que está cerca de Ryan, Beckmark Street. Entonces también tenemos una página de Facebook, pueden buscar por Miguel Sirius Insurance. Creo que ese es más que todo, ¿no? La parte más.
Yes, they can find us on Facebook, WhatsApp application. We have a number. I mean, you can call us or send us a message over there. Our website, our phone is 434-956-4458, and we are ready to take any calls, any day, anytime, any questions that you may have. Be happy to answer.
Yeah.
And
Solo
help.
llámenos, con mucho gusto lo podemos ayudar.
Awesome. Awesome. And last but not least, Mrs. Urpí says, wishes you both the best, and she says, thank you for the birthday wishes.
Oh gosh, Jan, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. And Javier, thank you so much for your support. I hope you recover very soon. And we'll send you our love. Take care.
All right. Wonderful. Well, thank you both so much
for coming.
Thank you so
We
much.
love you guys. They were so glad to have you.
The
Thank
pleasure is
you.
ours, and thank you again, Alex. Thank you again, Nicholas. It's always really good.
Es un placer estar
you
aquí
all.
siempre
Thank
con
you.
ustedes. Gracias por la
Un
oportunidad.
placer.
Un placer. Gracias.
Alrighty, and then, as we transitioned, I think we're almost ready to wrap it up. Just a couple other people watching. Dunia Ramirez, thanks for watching the show this morning. Yes Realty Partners, thanks for liking the show this morning. For our good friends Keith and Yona.
Keith and
Some
Yona,
more great trusted people.
That Yona and I have been talking back and forth about. She sent me a video like someone traveling through Vienna, and I was like, oh man, I wish if she offered to tour guide us if we go back. I was like, that would be fun. But we also have some just some follow up. That was great, Omar. Congrats from Anna Di Milan. So Omar, just letting you know that they're still coming in. They still love you even when you're not live on the air. So it's just great to again. The whole topic of protection was like it was interesting. We didn't need to do it.
You put it beautifully.
It wasn't. It was one of those things that it didn't. It wasn't necessarily something I planned, but it happens. Like that's what's great about today, Mañana. But it was really inspired. It was really interesting, really informative as we thought.
I always learn a lot, and I'm always inspired by just the hard work and the passion that all entrepreneurs, but especially our Latino entrepreneur community puts in.
Yeah.
So and thank you, of course, for co-hosting with me today. Next week, also got some great guests coming in. We're going to have Brenna Rice from Luxury Homebody coming in, as well as Kirsty Perry Art. So we got art in two different ways, I think.
Yeah, well, the art of the body and the art of the...
There you go, exactly. So there's two more, and I think they're both entrepreneurs, so two more fantastic entrepreneurs coming in next week that we can look forward to. Of course, always appreciate Judah with his work behind the camera, always making us look good, always making us sound great. So definitely appreciate that. Appreciate being here on the I Love CVille Network. And of course, a big thank you to our partners at Craddock Sirius Insurance and Castle Hill Cider, Forward Adelante, and Emergent Financial Services. Thank you so much, the audience. You guys were fantastic today. Just thank you so much. Muchísimas gracias por los comentarios, por las preguntas.
We have another comentario.
Another comentario.
We don't want to miss it out. So Laura Medina de Alfonso says of Miguel and Carolina, los mejores, el mejor servicio. We want to make sure that everyone gets that message. It's high praise.
So just thank you to all of you for just your great comments and your questions. It's your support that really just drives our wonderful entrepreneur community, and of course drives today Mañana. We would have nothing here without you guys. So we appreciate you all. We look forward to seeing you all next week. I can't remember if I'm going to do next week as well, but
I think I'm scheduled in next week, and then I know everyone's waiting to see Xavier back, but it'll be me next week and Michael the following week, and then we'll have a big party. Xavier will return with both his eyes. It will be wonderful. He'll be able to see.
Exactly.
So
it'll be beautiful.
Yes.
But I look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you for hosting.
Look forward to seeing all of you next week. And until then, as we always say on the show, hasta mañana.
One day we gotta spice it up and have